Okay, continuing on in my series of refuting Eric Dubay. This is video number 6, I believe, and I've already done 5 videos dealing with Eric Dubay himself. That was video 5, that was video 4, that was video 3, that was video 2, and I believe that was all video 1. Now, I have here these other minions of Mr. Dubay. These other guys that star in his film. I believe there's 6 of these characters. And I'm going to do a video for each one of them. Right now we start with this guy. So introducing ODD TV. And let's look at something real quick here. ODD TV is a rapper. And this shirt, I think, exemplifies part of the problem with the Flat Earth community. They don't trust anyone. Okay, that in a way that could even mean each other, because there is a Flat Earth channel out there on YouTube called Jeranism that the rest of the Flat Earthers don't trust because his video was used in some sort of Beyond the Curve or Behind the Curve Netflix documentary. I haven't seen it. I've seen the clip from it, but I haven't seen the actual. I don't have Netflix, nor do I want it. So I haven't seen it, but they don't trust each other. When one of them ends up getting publicly refuted, then they end up turning on that guy, saying he's a shill or something to that effect. So they don't even trust each other if one of them falls. But this is what happens when these people who are not scientifically literate to begin with, they didn't learn the specifics of the actual empirical science that proves that we are, in fact, on a ball, a sphere. So they never learned that stuff when they were growing up. Neither did I. But then they come along and they hear all of this supposed science in Eric Dubay's videos, and they get tricked by the fake science in it because they were never really good at science to begin with. I guarantee you these flat earthers did not get good grades in science classes back in school. I guarantee that. Prove me wrong. So this guy ends up finding out that there are, in fact, conspiracies out there in the world. You know, some people like to point to, I don't know, the shot that's been going around. Some people like to point to the masks we were supposed to wear. You know, they latch onto these kinds of things, and then from that they come to the conclusion that all of the globe science is just as corrupt as the other things that they've found. But that's a jump to a very false conclusion. So when you find out that the powers that be have been telling some lies here and there, then you jump to the false conclusion that the globe must be a big conspiracy too. Right? They take this way too far because they don't have the scientific... I don't know what it is. Some people just have the ability to understand physics built into them. God gave us the ability to understand physics. But some people, no, they don't have the ability to just naturally understand physics. And these are the people that the Flat Earth conspiracy, the Flat Earth hoax, preys upon. So here is this rapper turned Flat Earth guy.
My name is ODD TV. I'm a local rapper here in Denver, Colorado.
I just want you to know the truth, so please don't shoot the messenger.
I've been rapping for 20 years. Just like anyone else, when you're a kid and you're really into music, you're into making music, every kid looks in that mirror and fantasizes about being famous. And because I like to make my own music, I just decided, screw it. I'm going to make a YouTube channel and start talking in videos.
There has never been one.
Okay, now, before we start getting into his claims, I guarantee you, and I have a long history in the professional musician arena out there in the world, so I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to being a professional entertainer, such as ODD TV. I guarantee you that this guy has been a failed rap star for 20 years, as he said, trying to become a big, famous rap star like, I don't know, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, right? I'm not real big on all of these rapper names out there, but I do know a few of them. This guy wants to be the next Eminem. They all do. Okay? But he wasn't getting anywhere. Meanwhile, while he's surfing around on YouTube, he ends up getting recommended the Eric Dubay films, all his millions of videos that he earlier claimed. And he wasn't good at science back in school. So he gets tricked by all of this stuff, starts a channel on YouTube, and becomes famous for his flat earth videos. Not for his rap. He becomes famous in the flat earth community. And then that makes his rap career start to go up. Now the flat earth community is willing to listen to his rap music. So this guy is not a famous rapper that became a flat earther. This is a no-name person that became a flat earther and then started to become somewhat known as a rapper, I suppose. I still don't know who this guy is. I mean, does he really have a big contract selling gold records or anything, so to speak? I know they don't really sell records anymore, but you get the point. Okay, so now he's going to start trying to sound scientific here. So let's see what he says.
There has never been one experiment that proves that the Earth is in motion.
Never been one experiment. As if this guy is able to tell everything that has happened over the last 6,000 years. There has never, ever been. You can't make that kind of claim, but here, now he's going to justify what he just said with the rest of his sentence qualifying what he thinks qualifies as as actual evidence.
When you try to find the curvature of the Earth, it's nowhere to be found.
Unless
you're looking at footage from GoPro cameras that have fisheye lenses.
Okay, from a GoPro with a fisheye lens. He uses that as an example because that's a very common thing. A lot of people have GoPro type cameras with a fisheye lens, and that causes distortion. So he's going to single that out as being one of the reasons people tend to see curvature, which is true. That is not a legitimate way to measure curvature of the Earth with a fisheye lens. I agree with that. Next.
Hollywood movies.
Hollywood movies. That's his second criteria. And Hollywood movies are known fiction. We don't expect them to be actual footage of outer space and the curvature of the Earth. They are knowingly coming across as fiction in Hollywood movies. So I don't have a problem with that. Here is his last one.
Or NASA propaganda.
Or NASA propaganda. It's funny. The word propaganda doesn't even get completed. Whoever edited this video together cut off the end of his word. So it's just like propaganda. So great job in the video editing department. And I'm not good at making videos, obviously, with my simple screenshot here. And I could tell that was a bad video edit. Anyways, his claim is that there is NASA propaganda. Now, what does that mean? That means he is claiming that anything that comes from NASA is automatically propaganda, which by definition means it is a lie that is trying to deceive you into thinking something that is not true. So he's just going to smack the label of NASA propaganda on all of the stuff that comes from NASA. And that's where he's wrong. Not everything from NASA is a lie. As a matter of fact, I would think very little from NASA is actually a lie. It's just that they want it to be a lie so that they can live in their fantasy flat world. So we'll, when he's just made the assertion here that any evidence for curvature is from NASA propaganda. Now, that's actually very not true, because the curvature situation, Dave McKeegan's video number 1 on my ministry page, it's my own mix of his videos, and my video number 1 of his looks at the curvature very first topic. And it makes complete sense to me, understanding physics, why we would be able to see curvature even if the flat earthers were right. We should still see curvature. And this is the hugest problem with their argument. Where's the curvature? The horizon is flat. You never see curvature. Well, unless you actually believe that we are living on a square with those 4 corners that the Bible talks about, unless you believe we live on a square with 4 corners, then even your round disc, your round pizza, your flat pizza land is still going to have a curved edge to it. So if you think we live on a pizza, then why can't we see your curvature either? Okay, so the curvature argument is just flat out wrong, pun intended. Unless a flat earther believes we live on a square with 4 corners that is flat, a pizza box. If that's what you think the earth is shaped like, then please find me even one of these corners and show it to us. Because that would be empirical or observational science. So don't give me this curvature argument unless you actually believe we live on a square pizza box. That refutes it right there. And that's why the very first Dave McKeegan video I put up was talking about that. And yet they don't listen, of course.
Started making the videos in 2014, early 2015.
Why then? Because Eric Dubay had just started this hoax back in 2013. So this guy bit the fishing hook, line, and sinker. He went down, and so he started making his videos too in 2014 and 2015. And look what happens.
Started getting noticed.
Oh, he started getting noticed finally. Fame starts coming the rapper's way, and he's finally receiving the public admiration. Doesn't matter who it's coming from. It's coming from a bunch of scientifically illiterate other flat earthers. He doesn't care. Look, he's got, what is that? 32,212,016 views. 32 million. Boy, that's so impressive. And by the way, if anybody knows me, 322. What do you know? So he's getting views. He's started getting noticed, as he said, which is just his desire for fame. And, he's a rapper. He wants to be famous. So he started getting famous because of his flat earth videos, not because of his rap.
You're living in a world where there's fake people faking events on TV.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that NASA is doing it too. TV and movies are fiction. They're supposed to be, unless it happens to be a documentary and it's known as being non-fiction, but that's not what we're talking about here. You're talking about movies that are obviously supposed to be fiction. So who cares?
In order to move agendas forward with the earth being flat, I couldn't just
see that's just an assertion. There's no proof that they are making movies in Hollywood so that they can push a flat earth hoax. they're saying the globe is the hoax. There's no proof of that. That's just your assertion based on your belief, based on your desire to believe this flat earth stuff.
Around to do nothing. There was videos everywhere.
Yep.
There was videos of people doing science.
Science, he says. There was videos everywhere. That's correct. I remember when this flat earth hoax started, virtually overnight, and the videos just kept coming and coming and coming. There was a barrage of these flat earth videos started in 2013-ish, and then goes into 2014 and 2015. This is what took over after the 2012 Mayan calendar end of the world thing. Come around in 2013 after the Mayan calendar didn't do anything, and now the 2013 hoax was the flat earth, and it's still here over a decade later. So he said that he saw a bunch of videos, because that's always the way to prove science, right? The question really is, are these experiments good experiments? Good sound experiments? That's really the problem. Now,
people doing science, putting balloons up with a camera that doesn't have a fisheye lens on it, like a GoPro lens, a wide-angle lens.
Right.
And they were using these cameras that didn't have those.
Yeah, and still, these cameras can't go high enough. So whatever these experiments are that you're referring to, you're making it sound like these are great experiments that you can do yourself and prove that the earth is flat. But that's just not true. This is a bad experiment, and they refuse to believe that. What they do is they're putting these cameras on a helium balloon of some kind, weather balloon sort of thing. And they put it up into the air and make it go as high as it possibly can. But even though it goes as high as it possibly can, and then it bursts, and the camera falls back down, they collect the camera, and they get the footage. Okay? These cameras are still only able to go just a little bit up there. A matter of miles. I don't know if it's 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles. I don't know. The videos tell you, and I don't remember exactly what the number is. It doesn't matter. But I do know the ballpark. And the ballpark is just a matter of, 50 miles or so up there. That's as far as it can go. And considering how huge the Earth is, that's still not far enough to see the actual curvature to a noticeable enough degree that it's undeniable. So these are just bad experiments because you're limited by how high your weather balloon is able to go. Now, I have recently actually just seen, there was a video. Let's see if I have the ability of finding that video real fast. Probably not. But I just came across, somebody left a link on my ministry to this video that I thought was incredible, of somebody that built their own rocket and sent their own camera up there without a fisheye lens, and it does clearly show the curvature of the Earth, because this guy was able to get his rocket. It's a rocket, okay, which is considerably better than just some weather balloon. Okay, a weather balloon can only float up as far as it goes, and then because of weather conditions, it ends up bursting and falling down. A rocket is a much different thing. Now, how am I going to find that fast? Let's see. My history is... This is it right there. Praise the Lord, I found it. So let's bring...
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'm going to need to minimize that. There we go. So here's the video. You can see what it's called, 56 miles. or 90 kilometers above Earth. Successful amateur rocket launch. It is from this guy, Kip. Oh boy. Dogurdis. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not going to bother trying again. Kip is a guy that built his own rocket. Another Elon Musk kind of genius, I suppose. And this video, 12 minutes long, I would probably love to actually download this video myself and publish it, because it shows you how he builds this rocket, tests it a bunch of times, and then at the end, he sends it up, and he shows Earth curvature. Look at that. Look at that. That's not a GoPro. That's not even in the side of the frame. That's curvature. Okay? So this video, you can find it now. Just search YouTube for it on this guy's channel. I gave you the information that you need there. So, you want to see the curvature? It does exist. Now, if you want to go and claim that Kip, who's not connected to NASA, if you want to say that he's part of the flat Earth or the globe Earth conspiracy, he's part of it, and he's lying, and he just made CGI videos of that whole thing. If you want to believe that, you will believe that. I see no evidence for that assertion, so I'm pretty sure that it's real footage. Moving on.
The horizon rose to eye level, which would be impossible on a ball that would be falling away from you as you rose up.
Okay, this horizon to eye level thing, this is another completely fake claim by the flat earthers. There is video in one of Dave McKeegan's videos of another guy. It's not Dave, it's some other guy that built this sort of contraption that has a water level to it, and water finds its own level. We know that from all the flat earthers, right? And this device can show you where the horizon is compared to what elevation you're at. And when you get it right at the right place at one elevation and then you go up in elevation, it doesn't point to the horizon anymore. It's above the horizon because you're at a higher elevation. And if you go to a lower elevation, it's now lower than the horizon because you're at a lower elevation. So whoever dreamed up this "the horizon always comes to eye level" claim just made up a completely false assertion. There's no evidence that that is actually true. It's just rhetoric. It's something they spit out there as if it's more evidence to the mountain of evidence that they think they have. But this is a completely fake claim.
There's people putting out top 10 NASA hoax videos debunking the moon landing, picking apart NASA just left and right. It was awesome.
See, it was awesome. I love all these videos that make me believe something that's not true. Okay, just because there are a whole bunch of YouTube videos out there claiming that NASA has lied about the moon landing does not prove that the Earth is flat. And I went for a while thinking, maybe they did actually fake the moon landing. Maybe that's possible. But that doesn't automatically prove that the Earth is a flat disk and that all of the moon landing hoax was to stop us from discovering that we're on a flat plane instead of a globe. That is a huge jump to a very false conclusion. So these NASA claims are very far away. The grasping at straws is really probably the best way I should say it. I used to think maybe it's true that it was a hoax, that the moon landing was a hoax. But that still doesn't prove the Earth is flat, right? That was my mentality going into it. And then Dave McKeegan proved it to me. He really did. This guy is a professional photographer. He makes his living with cameras. So I'm going to take his word for it when it comes to him talking about focal length and, stuff like that. Aperture. Photography words that I otherwise would not have understood. So when he explains to me how the shadows on the photos can only have been done on the moon, and I'm listening with a mind that does understand physics fairly well, I did get good grades in my science classes. I can understand what he's saying, and what he is saying scientifically checks out as being true. So I came to the conclusion, because of Dave McKeegan, that the moon landing did in fact happen, just like they showed it. And all of these various hoax claims actually end up having a very good scientific explanation for it. And they're all taken out of context individually, and I have discussed various ones of those in the previous 5 videos with Dubay. Let's see if he brings up anything in particular.
Awesome time for YouTube between 2015 and 17.
Speaking of horizons, some guy, he filmed a mountain. He was flying over Texas, and he used his camera to film a mountain. This mountain was supposed to be hidden by 35 miles of curvature with the current circumference of the Earth that we're given.
Okay, well, that's a nice assertion and all, but we don't get any of the details of this supposed experiment. All we get told is some guy shot a video out the window of a plane, and we claim that you shouldn't be able to see that mountain. Now, did it tell us? Let's see. It says 760, I'm guessing that's miles. 760 miles, Gulf of Baja. I'm not seeing any other data. So, how high up is the plane? That would be a nice start to this equation. It doesn't give you any details of this supposed explanation. So how do I know that it's supposed to be behind, what did he say, 32 miles, 36 miles?
With the current circumference by 35 miles
35.
of curvature.
35 miles, okay? Now, how do we know that this is, first of all, is this even a black and white? Is it color?
Mountain.
So it's
this
color now,
mountain
and now it's
was
black and
supposed to be
white.
hidden.
But why is it black and white now? For contrast reasons? How do we know that's not refraction? How do we know that we're not seeing it because of refraction? How do we know that because the plane is so high up in altitude that the 35 miles you're claiming is actually a bad number? Because you didn't factor in the altitude of the plane, maybe. Where's the proof for this assertion? That's the problem with flat earth assertions. They're always assertions and there's no proof to it. Moving on.
Oh, just sitting straight up. He's just right there. It's not hidden by 35 miles of curvature.
Okay, prove to me it should, because that right there is coming from sea level. Okay, so if you're going to use this kind of a 8 inches per mile squared formula, then show me where the plane is at sea level. It doesn't work that way. The plane's up here somewhere. Now, I'm exaggerating. It's obviously not going to be that high up on a globe this big. It would be a little bit up. And that mountain is probably only like here, not way out here. So this is just bad math, bad science. These people do not understand how to use these formulas that they think actually proves their side.
It's crazy.
Yes, it is crazy.
As soon as flat earthers found out about P900 cameras that are made by Nikon, where they can zoom in times 80, I think. And what's going on is like...
Times 80, as if that's a real high number. Telescopes that look up into the sky and are looking at other stars, other planets, other galaxies, like the Hubble, which isn't even on our planet, it's out in space, or the new one, James Webb. These ones are magnifying things a whole lot more than just 80 times. So these guys seem to think that they've found their holy grail of a Canon P1000 or P900 or whatever it is, and as if this is the technology that beats everything else.
You can see a boat disappear with your naked eye, and that used to be proof.
Okay, this is fake. This is not a actual photo, not an actual video. So they're using CGI to prove their point. Funny.
Alone, that used to be proof for the curvature of the earth. But now, you can watch the boat disappear with your naked eye.
Okay, there's a boat out there somewhere.
Pull up this camera, and you can zoom in on the boat that you just watched disappear.
Well, we didn't see it disappear, but I get the point.
And you could bring it right back into full view perfectly.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Now, how far away is that boat? We don't know. We don't know the focal length of the camera. We don't have any of the particulars to be able to do an actual scientific calculation of any of this. All we know is that the guy's saying the boat disappeared to the naked eye, and now we can zoom back in and see it. But here's the problem. Why is the bottom of the boat going out that way again? Why is the bottom of the boat going out the other way? Is the ship, is the boat built that way? I've never seen a boat hull that bows back out like that. I've never seen that. So what is causing that distortion to the bottom of this boat? Why does it look like that? Now, my guess would be it's caused by refraction, which means that's the part that's actually over the curvature of the Earth, and yet we still see it because of the refraction of light being bent over that curvature of the Earth, and we still see that. Now, here's the thing. What happens if you keep your P9000, P900, P1000, right? What happens if you keep your camera focused on that boat while it's still moving away from you? I've never seen a flat earther conclude this experiment. All they do is watch it disappear from naked eye and then bring it back with the camera. But keep watching it. Will it eventually drop out of sight through the camera too? I'll bet it does, but none of you actually follow through with this experiment to see what it does. Because if it drops through your camera viewfinder, if it actually drops bottom up through that lens too, then you just refuted yourself. But none of you guys will do that, will you? So finish the experiment, flat earthers. Watch the boat through the camera all the way until it disappears. And tell me if it went bottom first or not.
Just perfectly visible. It's crazy.
It's not perfectly visible. There is distortion there. And the fact that we can see this bird while it's zoomed in like that, that makes me think that the boat is not really that far away, which means this is a zoomed in focal length issue. But I would defer to Mr. McKeegan about that.
There's no camera tricks. There's no illusions involved. Nothing. It's just perfectly
there is an illusion. It's called refraction.
Back into view. There's flat earth proofs coming out all the time, every other day, It's just a matter of if you can find it or not. If it's going to surface in the right areas where people can share it. You know, they're trying to censor this stuff nonstop.
There is no evidence at all that neither Google or YouTube is somehow cracking down on the flat Earth false information. I already covered this in one of the first 5 videos with Dubay, where he showed some sort of congressional hearing about slapping a label on misinformation. And all they do is they put a label on something saying Wikipedia says flat Earth is an archaic belief that is no longer valid, right? They don't censor the videos. They don't delete the videos. The only reason a Flat Earthers channel might go down is because they got hit for a copyright violation or something like that. Nobody is finding a Flat Earth channel and deleting everything because they're teaching Flat Earth. There's no evidence of that. YouTube's not doing that. Google's not doing that. I am no fan of Google. I am not their friend. But this is a false accusation against them.
There's just a mission to keep this stuff buried.
Well, no. The only mission is to refute your bad science. That's my mission. And that seems to be the mission of Dave McKeegan and the other Dave, Professor Dave. And let's see. There's Sci-Man Dan. And I don't really particularly follow any of these people other than what they teach about the shape of the earth, because they're not Christians. But they're absolutely right scientifically about observing the globe that we are on. So all of this stuff about YouTube or Google supposedly suppressing information is... You know how you know that that's not true? Because Flat Earth is still, it's bigger today than it was then. There are more Flat Earthers today than there was back then. Therefore, they didn't really do a very good job at suppressing this information, did they? So this claim that they're trying to stop people from learning this stuff, there's no truth to it. Let's see here.
I got mad love for all the Flat Earthers, man. Since day one, everybody's been doing their part, putting in work, and just picking up where they're finding slack, they'll pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, there's no spot in Flat Earth that is not covered. They're covering their zone, their quadrants, and they're just taking care of business, man.
Okay, so the Flat Earth has created themselves their own community. Okay? They all believe in the same crazy fantasy, therefore they're all friends with each other. But meanwhile, you've also lost all of the rest of your friends that you used to have, and the family members now think you're beyond crazy. So the only friends you have now are all your Flat Earth friends. That's not a good club to be in. Now, what I said was a generalization, of course. Not every Flat Earther out there ends up losing all their friends. They don't necessarily alienate their entire family. But I'll bet a lot of you do. Especially the most vocal ones of you. I remember seeing a particular commenter on one of my videos. I went and looked at their page, and one of the comments from somebody else said, "Hey, miss you coming to church. Why did you stop going to church, sir? Did you alienate yourself from all of the other people at church because you keep pushing Flat Earth and nobody believes you, so you stopped going to church? Because they're all heathen? And you're the good guy? This is how the demon works in these people."
And if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for all of us, we wouldn't be where we're at with this Flat Earth thing, man. They wouldn't be so scared. They wouldn't be trying to cover it up at every turn and stop it everywhere we look.
First of all, I'm not scared of you. The only thing I would be scared of is that you lost your temper and tried to beat me up, because I'm not looking for a physical altercation for many of you guys. And I don't believe that the Holy Spirit is in any of these people enough for them to control their wrath. All right? So I would fear you guys getting violent, but I don't fear what you say at all, because all of this flat earth argument that you say is systematically refutable, and that's why there's so many videos on my channel, because there's so many different things that have to be refuted. It's a mountain of all sorts of little things that all cumulatively add up to we're on a globe. So I'm not afraid of what you say. It's just so time-consuming to have to go through each individual point that you guys make and explain why it's not scientifically valid.
Each and every single flat earther out there has played their part, and we wouldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for you.
Well, true. If you didn't have an army of scientifically inept people pushing this hoax on the internet, it wouldn't have blossomed into the huge hoax that it now is. That's very true. But it doesn't mean you're right.
We wouldn't be heavily censored. They wouldn't.
You're not censored. Nobody's censoring you. We are just speaking against what you claim. And we're the ones using empirical science. You are the ones using fake science. We try to explain to you why it's fake science, and you just call us liars. This is the mentality of a flat earther.
Wouldn't be scared to debate us. They wouldn't be
I'm debating you right now.
trying to censor us at every turn if it wasn't for you guys and you wonderful women.
Yeah, you're just rallying the troops here. That's all you're doing.
Exposing flat earth with all your might, all your power. All the glory to God. What a wonderful world we live on.
All the glory to God, huh? I would love to understand this guy's belief of who God is, and if it has anything to do with the gospel of Jesus Christ. I would love to know that. And I guarantee you, if he were to try and explain the gospel to me, it would either be that he doesn't believe in Jesus the way we do, he just believes in God the Creator, who made the flat plane, or he does believe in Jesus, but it's a once saved, always saved gospel, which means he doesn't have to repent of any of his sin. But I'm pretty sure we're not going to get any Bible exposition from ODD TV. I'm pretty sure all his videos will only cover all the fake science that I've already addressed in this video or in the previous 5 with Dubay, and what I am going to cover with the next videos, because we are close to the end of this one.
So beautiful. There's pilots coming out all the time too. And they're attesting to the fact that you can't find any curvature.
Okay, so that is what led into the Eric Dubay section that I've already covered about various pilots that they have on film claiming, yeah, sure looks flat up there to me. And I've already addressed that in a previous video, so that brings this video to an end. ODD TV, which I think just says Odd TV. I believe you are refuted, sir.